This is a water droplet under my microscope, and in it is a tiny creature that's going to cheat death through a process called anhydrobiosis. She's a Bdelloid rotifer, and interestingly enough, they haven't had males in this class of organisms for about 80 million years as far as we know. Here, the water around her is drying up. Her world is shrinking rapidly. As she notices this, she gives one last big stretch and quickly curls up into a tight little ball, preparing herself for, potentially, thousands of years without water. This is it, anhydrobiosis. Without water, she will stay like this for a very long time. I left her on the slide like this, dormant and dry, for 3 hours. It was indistinguishable from any other speck of dust looking at it with the naked eye. Here you see the tip of my pipette, introducing our friend to the essence of life as we know it, water, once more. This water is not quite as clear as before, and that's because I mixed some of the water she came from with some baker's yeast. This is to make sure that she has a good supply of food if she decides the conditions are right to come back from her suspended state. And as I'll show you soon, these Bdelloid rotifers seem to absolutely thrive off yeast. Here is the first time I add some more water into the droplet. On the scale, the droplet can evaporate quite quickly, so it's important to make sure that there is enough and at the right temperature as she decides to come back to life. The second time, adding more water to the droplet, and this caused a bubble to form from the tip of the pipette, shifting both fungus and rotifer, creating quite a pretty scene. I add more water, this time slightly shifting her position. After finding her with the microscope, I continue to watch. Now the fourth time, adding more water to the microscope slide. This time, water clinging to the pipette shifted her quite a lot, but after a quick scan of the droplet, I found her once again. The fifth time, adding more yeast-rich water to the droplet, she had again been repositioned. But after finding her, I thought that this could not be a better spot. She's in a region of the droplet with a high concentration of yeast to feed on in all directions. And it seems I was right. This is the exact moment she starts showing signs of having returned to life. She pushes her body out, then contracts back in, over and over, each time managing to regain more and more control over her once desiccated body. For a few minutes, she continues this behavior, something you and I would probably also want to do after waking up from such a deep slumber. Some good stretches. After this, she decides to extend her corona and start resuming her usual activities of beating her cilia to create a suction vortex, pulling food closer, and then chomping down on said food. Taking another look about 10 minutes later, she has found herself the jackpot of yeast, and you can see how she's cleared quite the path. As she continues her feast, she lives a normal life, perhaps not even knowing that she just demonstrated that in our very reality, death is not as final as we might think. Multiple attempts, hundreds of gigabytes of footage, and tedious attention to detail finally managed to get me this footage which I'm sharing. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and please let me know if there's anything I can do to bring you higher quality content. For extras, you can also find me on various social media, sharing everything I do here and sometimes even more. Thank you so much for watching.